You're standing at your front door and you're taking a brown paper bag from a guy in a Prius who looks just as tired as you are. It's 7:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. You just spent $42 on 2 bowls of Thai food that would have cost you $18 if you'd just driven 5 minutes down the road to pick them up yourself. You're exhausted from work, so you tell yourself it's a reward for a hard day, a little luxury you deserve for putting in the hours. But as you're eating that slightly soggy pad thai out of a plastic container, you remember that your car insurance is due tomorrow and you're exactly $150 short in your checking account. You'll just float it on the credit card and deal with it later, right? This is the definition of survival mode. It isn't about being unemployed. It's about making $70,000 a year and still feeling like you're one flat tire away from a total nervous breakdown. You're not drowning in a lake. You're being pulled under by 1,000 tiny leeches that you don't even see. My name is Sam, and I spend too much time thinking about why your paycheck has a vanishing act every 2 weeks. If you want to stop the leak and actually build a life that doesn't require a prayer every time you swipe your card at the grocery store, hit that subscribe button. We talk about the stuff your bank hopes you never figure out. Look, here is the thing about survival mode. It's a psychological state as much as a financial one. When you're in it, your brain literally shifts into a different gear. Or you lose the ability to think about next year because you're too busy trying to survive next Thursday. This leads to a series of logical decisions that are actually financial suicide. You start buying things that provide immediate relief, but long-term pain. We've reached a point in 2026 where the economy is basically designed to keep you in this loop. Everything is a subscription, everything is on demand, and everything is buy now, pay later. It's a minefield, and most of us are walking through it blindfolded. The first purchase that is secretly keeping you in this trap is the convenience tax, specifically delivery apps. I know, you're tired. But look, it's not just the food price, it's the service fee, the delivery fee, the small order fee, and the tip. Let's do some real math. If you order delivery just 3 times a week and spend an extra $15 per order in fees and markups, which is actually a conservative estimate these days, that is $45 a week. Over a single year, that is $2,340. If you took that same $2,300 and invested it into a boring index fund every year for 30 years, it would grow to nearly $250,000. You are literally eating a $250,000 retirement in cold fries and lukewarm noodles. The psychology here is decision fatigue. You spend all day making big choices at work, so by 6 p.m., your brain just wants the path of least resistance. But that path is paved with your own financial freedom. Second on the list is the subscription graveyard. What we all have them. The streaming service you got for that one show 3 years ago, the pro version of a weather app you don't use, and that gym membership you're totally going back to once the weather cools down. Companies love subscriptions because humans are biologically bad at noticing recurring costs. We perceive a $15 monthly charge as nothing, but we would never hand someone $180 in cash for a service we haven't touched in 6 months. Here's the thing, if you have $80 in unused or redundant subscriptions, that's almost $1,000 a year. That's an emergency fund. That's a new set of tires. But instead, you're paying a forgetfulness tax to a multi-billion-dollar corporation while you're stressed about your phone bill. Number 3 is the pseudo-investment in trendy gear. This is when you buy the $1,000 espresso machine because it'll save me money on Starbucks, or the high-end iPad because it'll make me more productive. Look, it's only an investment if it actually returns money to your pocket. If you buy the espresso machine but still go to the coffee shop twice a week because you're in a rush, you haven't saved money, you've just bought an expensive decoration for your kitchen. We use the word investment to lie to ourselves so we don't feel guilty about buying luxury items we can't afford. True investments don't need a justification. They show up as a higher balance in your brokerage account. The 4th purchase is what I call the social tax. This is the round of drinks you buy for your friends when you're out. Or the $80 wedding gift for a coworker you don't even like that much. You're broke, but you're terrified of anyone realizing it. This is performative wealth. You're spending the very money that could buy you stability to buy a temporary image of success. It's a vicious cycle where you buy social status at the expense of your actual sanity. If your friends will think less of you for not buying a round of shots, you don't have a money problem. You have a friend problem. Fifth is the upgrade trap, specifically with your phone. The carriers have mastered the monthly installment trick. They tell you it's only $35 a month, but here's the math they hope you don't do. If you upgrade your $1,200 phone every 2 years instead of every 4, you're spending an extra $600 every 2 years for features you barely use. Over 20 years, that habit alone, just the phone, costs you $6,000 in raw cash. But when you factor in the lost investment growth, it's closer to $40,000. You are trading a massive chunk of your future net worth for a slightly better camera that you're only using to take pictures of your dinner. Next up is the bulk buying illusion. You go to the big warehouse stores and spend $400 because you saved 10 cents per ounce on laundry detergent. But then you buy a 5-pound bag of spinach that turns into green slime in 4 days and a 30-pack of snacks you wouldn't have even wanted if they weren't sitting right there in front of you. Survival mode is often fueled by the fear of running out, which leads to overbuying. You're tying up your liquid cash in stuff that sits in your pantry while your bank account sits at zero. You cannot pay your electric bill with a 12-pack of paper towels. You need to be just in time with your spending until you have enough of a buffer to be just in case. The seventh purchase is the budget luxury. These are the small daily treats, the fancy soda, the $5 app game, the designer candle, that we use as psychological band-aids. They provide a 10-minute dopamine hit that masks the underlying stress of being broke. But here's the thing. If you have to treat yourself every single day just to cope with the stress of your finances, the treat is actually the poison. You're spending $500 a year on vibes while you're one missed paycheck away from being evicted. That's not self-care, that's self-sabotage. Finally, there's the emergency credit purchase. This is when you use a credit card for small emergencies like a $200 vet bill or a car battery because you don't have the cash. That $200 at 24% interest becomes $300 by the time you actually pay it off. You are literally paying a premium for your own lack of a buffer. It makes the world more expensive for you than it is for everyone else. Now, for the counterintuitive twist that might actually annoy you, frugality can be a trap. If you spend 5 hours a week clipping coupons and driving to 3 different stores to save $20, but you haven't looked for a higher-paying job or negotiated your rent in 3 years, and you are majoring in the minors. Survival mode isn't just about spending, it's about the misallocation of your mental energy. You are so focused on saving pennies that you're missing the dollars flying over your head. Sometimes the most expensive thing you can do is try to save money in ways that eat up your time and your ability to think big. So, what should you actually do? I want you to perform a Rule of 3 audit. Go back through your bank statements for the last 90 days. Don't look for every little thing. That's too overwhelming. Just pick 3 categories from this list that you know you're guilty of. Maybe it's delivery apps, unused subscriptions, and the treat yourself daily spend. Kill them. Not reduce them. Kill them for 60 days. Yeah, take every single dollar that would have gone to those 3 things and move it into a high-yield savings account the second your paycheck hits. Don't wait until the end of the month because we both know there won't be anything left. You need to build a $1,000 wall between you and the rest of the world. That $1,000 is the only thing that will pull you out of survival mode. Once you have that $1,000 wall, you'll find that you stop needing the dopamine hits from the treats because you aren't as stressed. You'll find that you have the mental energy to look for a better job or start that side hustle because you aren't panicking about your insurance payment. Survival mode ends the moment you have more than 0. The world is designed to keep you on the hamster wheel. But you're the only one who can choose to step off. Stop buying things you don't need to impress people you don't like with money you don't have.